A big part of voice lessons is learning how to identify and access your upper register and your lower register for your voice, and like understanding how to get from one to the other and back again smoothly. Because sometimes the upper register can sound like a really different voice than the lower register. So, a lot of voice teachers, including myself, will call the lower register the chest voice and the upper register the head voice, which is not really based on science. That's based on tradition because vocal pedagogy was established prior to a really solid understanding of anatomy of the body back in like the 16 and 17 and 1800s. So if we put our hand here on our chest and we use our voice to make a low pitch like this, you can feel your chest is vibrating.
Correct.
Which is why we call the lower register chest voice. It's not because the voice is coming from the chest. The voice always originates in the larynx because that's where our vocal folds are located. But we have sympathetic vibrations in our chest cavity for lower pitches typically. Mm-hmm. And if you make a high pitch, this is much more subtle to feel, but you can sometimes feel some little vibrations up here in your face. And so that is because we have sympathetic vibrations up here in our nasal cavities in our face. So that's where the term head voice and chest voice, like that's where those terms come from, even though our whole entire voice originates in the larynx. So the chest voice is great for making low sounds because the chest voice is strong, and for most people the chest voice is naturally well developed because we often, almost always, we speak in our chest voice. So we kind of work out our chest voice and develop our chest voice every day when we're talking without trying to develop the chest voice. It just happens naturally. So let's make a few chest voice sounds like and then we can try making a few head voice sounds. Woo! And so we can see the head voice has more of a high, light tone quality, and the head voice is great for singing high pitches. Now, the problem is the head voice is not great for singing low pitches. You'll get kind of a bottomed out sort of sound if you try to use your head voice to sing pitches that are too low for your upper register. I'll see if I can demonstrate it. I'm not always the best, my voice type is not the best at demonstrating this, but so you can hear my head voice will start, and then because I'm not going to transition out of my head voice, it will sound like a little bit of a bottomed out sound. It's like it gets really weak, and we don't have like that strong connected sound. Chest voice is great for singing low pitches, but if you don't transition to your upper register, you'll get this like tight, shouty sound, sort of like you're hitting the ceiling kind of sound, because it's like you need to like flip out your larynx actually needs to physically rock forward a little bit to achieve the transition smoothly, so you don't have that shouty sound. So this I can demonstrate pretty easily and it's a little painful to demonstrate for most people. So you can hear that like it's a strained kind of sound. So a great exercise to master this technique of smoothly transitioning between registers, which is like a huge part of what people do in voice lessons, is called the siren. It's a simple exercise but difficult, and it's kind of a lifelong endeavor to master the siren. Like it's probably one of the first exercises you learn when you start voice lessons, and it's an exercise you'll continue to try to master for the duration of your singing life, because you'll never really master all of the register break. You have more than one register break, but most people have at least one that's like very clear and noticeable between high and low. So for the siren, we will make an oo vowel shape with our lips. We'll take a nice deep breath, and we'll begin with our lowest pitch that we can hit. We'll slide up to the highest pitch we can hit, and then we'll slide back down. Ideally, all in one breath, but if you have a pretty big range and you need to stop and take a breath, and then continue where you left off. That's allowed. And so let's just give it a try together one time and kind of see how it goes for you, and then we'll adjust based on that, okay? Do you have any questions?
Nope.
Okay.
Let's try it.
Do you hear where your voice got that rumbling sound? That's your vocal fry register, which is underneath your chest voice. So stop prior to the vocal fry. We're going to avoid using the vocal fry.
Prior to.
So before you get those rumbles, that's an erratic way of vocal folds coming together in the air.
I felt a change as I was coming down, though.
Yeah, did you hear that little like bump in the road?
Yeah,
so that's your register break. That's right where your break happens in your register, and everybody has that. Most of the time, it's like very easy to hear in a male voice. So try another siren. This time, do it by yourself. And you heard the little blip on the way up and on the way down?
I heard it both times.
Yeah.
Is that good or bad?
It just is. You know, like, depending on your criteria, for example, like, you're a different height than I am. And it's not necessarily bad or good to be whatever height you are. It's just the height that you are. Or, like, your skin color or your eye color. It's like having blue eyes isn't better than having brown eyes.
It just is.
Yeah. So like my register breaks as a soprano are not going to be where your register breaks are as a tenor. Like even though we both have a high voice type, like you're a male and I'm a female, so like the mechanism works a little differently. But the goal is after practicing the siren a bunch that you can get over that register break and back down again smoothly, and we can't tell where the break is occurring. And so that's pretty tricky to achieve. So the two things I'd hope for you to think of while you're practicing this week, when you feel that bump coming, lighten your tone and slow your direction. So whether you're ascending or descending. So instead of woo, like really fast, you can go ooh. Did you hear my register break right there? Mine is right at about G sharp to A. 5 is where my break happens, and it's still there even though I've worked on it for years. So you can still hear it happening, but it's, you know, smoother than it used to be. So I can try to approach more slowly and with a lighter tone so that I can like have a little more time to like make these tiny adjustments. Ooh. So that time I don't know if you could hear it.
I didn't hear it.
Yeah, so that's kind of the trick. The two things, remember, slow down and lighten up, and then kind of see if you have some improvement over the week. You have any questions about what to do?
I don't. I understand.
All right.